Jerry Seinfeld. He is Jewish. Would he play Tobit? I'm not entirely sure. Tobit is 80 years old. He's blinded. He's a pious Jewish man. In my adaptation, he is in Amsterdam in the 1930s. He Let me describe Tobit, and then you can tell me. I'll let you tell me if Seinfeld would. Isn't it funny we call him Seinfeld? Uh, I'm sure I know more about the television show than I actually do the man, so I don't know if he would do it. I like his comedians in cars. Well, I binge watched that, and he's still got it. Now, Tobit is not a comedian. Tobit is a very serious person. He's very pious. He's a pious Jew. He is charitable. He takes care of strangers. But primarily, the story of Tobit takes place because he wants to take care of his family. He goes blind, prays to God to die. He doesn't die. He still needs to God's not going to do that, take his life. But he still needs to feed his family. He has a wife and a son, unmarried son. He needs to find a wife and some money before he can leave this earth. We like Tobit because he gives excellent advice to his grandkids. Now that scene I can see as being a little humorous. Tobit's pretty much on his deathbed, and his grandkids come in. A deathbed scene being humorous. Tobit knows how to live, and he goes to extraordinary lengths to teach his grandkids how to be pious, how to be a good Jew. People say this is a Catholic story, and it is. There are 1.3 billion Catholics, and there's another 180 million Orthodox Christians. And you throw in 25 million Jews worldwide, and pretty soon you're talking about quite a few movie tickets. I think if you make a decent film with some good actors, and Jerry Seinfeld would he sees himself as a comedian and maybe not an actor, but this story is so compelling he might venture into it. Okay, if you make this film with Seinfeld or any other prominent actor, I believe because the demographics, you're talking about a world record of first weekend box office. And chiefly that is because there are 1.5 billion people who know the story from print and from their religious training. And they expect the words to be put on celluloid or filmed. And that's why I think that is the number one criteria whether you make a movie. Does the public expect it? Expectations. I know you've heard the phrase expectation of privacy. I think there is an expectation of film as well. Common everyday people. They're not filmmakers. They're not philosophers. They're not professors. They come across something. Maybe it's in Sunday school from when they're a little kid, or they read the Bible and they pick up the story. I've never seen this on film. That occurs to a huge number of people. Oh, this is a news story. Oh, you saw it in a movie. No, it's in the Bible. Tobit was a silent film in the 20s, so that's 100 years ago. There hasn't been a feature film. I asked a Catholic priest in Dublin, an Irish Catholic priest, why this had never become a film, and he said, well, because it was removed from the Bible in 1923. Protestants took it out of the Bible in 1923. Well, why did they do that? World War One. The anti-German and anti-Catholic sentiment was the contributing factor, according to this Catholic priest. And it does make sense because the Lutheran Church did remove it, and the priest didn't hold back anything. He said, "Oh, that's political. It has nothing to do with theology." I asked a Lutheran minister why the Lutherans led the charge to remove Tobit from the Bible, and his first response was, "Well, Martin Luther, in the Reform ages wanted it taken out, but it wasn't taken out till 1923. So why was it actually taken out?" And the Lutheran minister said, "Because it has magic." Well, this is Hollywood. Half the films have industrial light and magic. The best box office draws almost always have magic. We're in the magic business. So I don't think it's any big deal making a film with magic in it. Sarah. Okay, here's how I market this to producers and agents and people that are interested. 7 Jewish weddings and 7 demonic murders. Sarah lives in London. She is preyed upon by a demon every time she gets married. She's widowed. A demon comes and kills her new husband minutes or seconds after the wedding. Sometimes it's under the tent, sometimes it's in the reception hall, sometimes it's walking to the car, sometimes it is when the groom is carrying the bride over the threshold. They never reach the marriage bed. So I think it's compelling, and people expect it to be done. About Sarah, she is Reese Witherspoon. If we're gonna watch a girl get married 7 times in a film, she's got to be likable. There's too much redundance, and she has to keep that charm. And that's the whole point of Tobit, because Sarah goes through this ordeal, but she doesn't lose her faith. And she asks God to take her life, but it's just a momentary thing. She recovers and vows to persevere. Tobit, I see as Mel Gibson. I challenge everyone to read the Bible. It's only 8 pages. And you could read. I will email anyone the file of my adaptation. It's 98 pages. It'll make a feature-length film, but it's only 8 pages in the Bible. You can't read that and not see Mel Gibson. I know. Mel Gibson playing an 80-year-old Jew in Amsterdam right before the Holocaust. I think, well, people would say that's controversial. I'm not so sure. Mel Gibson is a pious individual, Catholic, fundamentalist Catholic, not Roman Catholic. But he does believe in the Old Testament. He's made 2 New Testament movies, but I've heard him speak about the Old Testament, and the belief is still there. I think if Mel Gibson was aware of this project, he would like it. Now, would Jerry Seinfeld play this role? I don't know. Would he? It would be experimental, and he would be taking a chance. But Adam Sandler made the story about the gym, Uncut Gem, and that was way outside his territory. Seinfeld could do the same thing. Forget Mel Gibson. Just put an actual Jew in that story. Now, 80 years old. Well, that's not really my department. Tobit's 80 and blind, but he's still a protagonist. He's got all these problems: an unmarried son, and no one to bury him, and he's 80 and blind. Jerry Seinfeld would be awesome. I'm glad you brought that up. I honestly can't remember if I even sent any of his people the script. I have a database of powerful people, and I quit writing, spending time emailing people low on the Hollywood totem pole. This film would require gravitas. Sarah has to be important, likable. Tobit has to be likable. Their characters are the most likable characters in the Bible. They've done studies. And per page, Tobit is more popular than Noah and even Moses. Noah and Moses have certainly more pages, but Tobit is kind of like fuel efficient. He gets a lot of miles out of a few pages. Jerry Seinfeld is an icon. His people will never let him see the script. It's too far outside his comedy paradigm. They want him to stay in the same old roles, and that's a pity. Now, since you asked that question, I can see it. It's the more I think about it, Jerry Seinfeld would knock it out of the park. Yeah, keep asking questions. I'm here. Did I go too long? Well, just edit it out. You can take it here or there. You're not going to take it out of context. I don't see how that could happen. Because the context is in the Bible. It doesn't matter what I said. Doesn't matter what the script says. What matters, or what will sell, is the fact that it's in the Bible, and 1.5 billion people are already familiar with it, and they're waiting to buy a ticket.